Okay, so let us start this topic, software environments for distributed system and clouds. In the previous topic, we saw about what is this system models. Now we have to talk about software. How to say? See here, you had system models for same thing. Now you have software environments for the same thing. Let us start. First thing we have about service-oriented architecture, that SOA is a key architectural model for distributed and cloud system, which is built on traditional OSI layers, focuses on services or distributed objects rather than raw network bits. Okay. Example, this very simple for example of entities in different distributed system. These left side things are the distributed systems. The right side are the entities. In grid of web services, the services are the entity. Java distributed objects, the Java object is the entity. Corba systems, the Corba distributed object is the entity. Okay, the layered architecture of web services. You remember the OSI layer which we had studied in the previous semester's computer networks. See, I remember now in the previous video I was hesitating. I mean, not hesitating. I was trying to recall, but I did not remember. Now it's very clear. So the OSI had multiple layers, but here the only thing is it's changing the first. See, rebuilds the top four OSI layers at the entity level. Entity interface defined using WSDL service web services, Java method signatures, or Corba IDL. You have communication systems, uses protocol like SOAP, web services, RMI for Java. RMI, I just saw, see, remote method invocation. Where were we? We were over here, yes. And IIOP. If you have to remember IIOP, you just try to think of lollipop like LOP, like 2I IIOP, which is of Corba. These support remote procedure calls, fault recovery, specialized routing, and virtualization of sender receivers. We also have a middleware which provides message processing infrastructure. We also have security mechanism at entry level communication and higher level service support, registers, metadata management, entity lifecycle and state management. Web services and tools. Web services, see, they are loosely coupling and heterogeneous implementations make services preferable to distribute objects. What are the web services? There are two types. One is web service and another is REST. Web services is like they fully specify the service and environment using SOAP messages. It acts as a distributed OS, like only one universal distributed OS in the sense one OS for everything. And it is challenging to implement this service due to protocol complexity because it has protocols. REST, it is a representational state transfer, simpler, minimal headers, message body is opaque to generic processing. In the sense of opaque is not clear, it's not visible at all for generic processors. Better for rapid evolving environments, often uses XML or over HTTP. Instead of HTTP, it uses XML, remember. Composite applications in Java, RMI, in Corba, RPC. The evolution of, so this is a very simplest part, to remember about this. You have to talk about grids of clouds, clouds of grid, interclouds, which is nothing but clouds of cloud, and systems of systems. Very simple, right? Like anyone can remember this very easily. Large numbers of sensor device, they collect the raw data, can be of these devices, and this data passes through all this collected raw data passes through a filter services where it is processed or filtered, forming filter clouds. Okay. Other cloud types include compute cloud, storage cloud, discovery clouds. Three. Okay. Then data flows from, this is a data flow. Raw sensor data to filter data. Filter data gives info. After filtering the data, you get information. From information, you get knowledge. From knowledge, you get intelligence, which is through which you get wisdom. Once you have wisdom, then you are a wise man to make your own decisions. Distributed system, a wise woman as well if you are a woman. Distributed system typically provide a web portal for user access. Not simple. Grid versus clouds. The difference between these are very blurry. Like not completely visible. It's like some sort of like little difference are there. Grids generally use static resources. Cloud uses elastic dynamic resources. Right? What to say? Scalable. Elastic means scalable. Dynamics even recall like that. Workflow orchestrate services in both grid and clouds. Complex systems can be built as clouds of clouds, grids of cloud, cloud of grids, interclouds. These are all SOA based architecture supporting large scale distributed computing. Very simple, right? Distinctions between the grid versus clouds. First, you have to tell grid uses static resources, cloud uses dynamic and scalable, elastic resources. Then you can build complex systems like all these four things, and they all are SOA based architecture which enables large scale distributed computing. Key points: see, SOA builds on a SOA builds on layered OSI model, shifting focuses to service entity communication rather than raw bits. Web services and REST are dominant services architecture with different complexity and flexibility trade-offs. Middleware supports messaging, fault tolerance, security at entity level. SOA evolves to support ecosystem of grid and clouds, integrating diverse sensor and filter services. We'll move to this system trends towards distributed operating systems. See, you have to talk about. See, there are three approaches to distribute resource management to in distributed system. You see, you have network OS over heterogeneous platform. It builds on many independent OS. Okay, like it is built on many independent OS. They together are used and they are built on that. Middleware, it is a middle layer providing partial resources sharing. Traditional distributed OS, fully distributed resources management for high system transparency. Transparency level lowest, medium, highest. Example distributed file system, Linux cluster, resource prototypes like amoeba. Amoeba is not that biological thing, that parasite, not parasite. What is it that? What do we call? See, I forgot everything. It's not that organism. Okay, it's not. It's about technology. Okay, see, Amoeba is a academic distributed OS. It is an operating system. Okay, Amoeba. DSE, distributed computing environment. It is a middleware based system by Open Software Foundation. Amoeba is an academic distributed OS developed by Free University of the Netherlands. Which has introduced this thing, not introduced, but which strives for microkernel based location transparent. Both DC and Amoeba, along with Mosix 2, are primarily research prototypes. They're just research prototypes, and there is no product or commercial product yet released with these two things. Like you see, we have that FunTouch OS and OpenAI, that operating system, right, for user interface in mobiles. These are also like that, but they have not officially reduced into the market. Then modern distributed OS design trends. See, lightweight microkernel architectures are like Amoeba, extending existing OSs Unix extended by DCE. Mosix 2 for Linux cluster. Why do we use Mosix 2 for Linux cluster? See, I have highlighted the points. That's the only thing you have to remember. It is a distributed OS running as a virtualization layer on Linux, provides partial. See, what middleware does, partial single system imaging provides that, supports both sequence and parallel applications, automatically discloses resources and migrates processes, manages clusters, grids of clusters, and can extend indefinitely with trust among the cluster owner. It is being explored for Linux cluster, GPU clusters, grids, and the clouds. Transparency in programming environment. Future computing infrastructures will separate. So see, in future the computing infrastructures will separate user data. So every user data will have owned by independent users. User data only will be owned by independent users. Application, they can switch freely via SAS, system as a service. Yeah, operating systems with clear standard interface for programming, hardware abstracted and separated from OS via standard interfaces. This separation enables to choose different OSs over preferred hardware, use data independently, enhances flexibility, portability, transparency, and cloud computing environments. And then you have this parallel and distributed programming. It's easiest and smallest part about this topic. Very short. You don't have much about this. You have to see this. You can just understand. But if you read this now, it will be confusing. But yeah, if you just read, see, MP, message passing file, a library of subprograms which can be callable from C or Fortran. Features of user support synchronous, asynchronous, point-to-point and collective communications and input-output operations. It is used in clusters, grids, and P2P for message passing. MapReduce, it is a programming model for scalable data processing over large clusters and datasets. Users defines map. Reduce. See, I'm told, right? Like if you just read it, it's kind of very weird or something like. To understand, it's like very. Oh, that was a mosquito. Okay. Open source software platform for running MapReduce applications. Hadoop, see, Hadoop is for running these applications. Open source MapReduce applications. Economical, scalable to petabytes, very big. Reliable via data replication. See, reliable via data replication in the sense it replicates the data so that even if there is a failure or something, nothing is lost, bro. Like you already have a copy of it. It's just like you're using it to test something like that. Open grid services, standard for grid service offering resource. If I'm not wrong, this MapReduce or this Hadoop, one of these was you know uh, launched or introduced from Google. Here is an actual and clear explanation. See, MapReduce was developed by Google. Message passing interface. This is a primary programming stand for parallel and concurrent programming on distributed system. If you have to perform parallel and concurrent programming on distribution, you use the MPI interface. Provides library which are callable from C or Fortran. Enables specification of communication commands which are point-to-point and collective and input-output operations. It is used in clusters, grids, and P2P systems. Other lower programming model supports parallel virtual machines. See, other lower level programming model supports this PVM, parallel virtual machines. MapReduce, a programming model developed by Google for large-scale data processing. It divides the work into two things: map function and reduce function. What is the map function? It generates a key value for key or some value or for a pair. Okay, and then reduce function. It merges the immediate value by a key. Okay, so it see whatever intermediate key is of a pair is reduced, it just merges. So pair is reduced, so merged, right? Two things like that. Designed to handle terabytes of data on tens of thousands of machines. Supports running hundreds of thousands of simultaneous jobs. See, it can handle terabytes of data on several machines, and it can also run thousands of uh, simultaneous jobs to run them. Widely applied in web searches and cloud computing. So throughout the worldwide, tell me, each and every second there are thousands of things being searched in the search engines, like in the YouTube or in Google or any other browser. Do you really think there is a second, even a like 0.01 microsecond in this time where no one on this earth is actually using the browser? Like it's no chance. It's like immediately non-stop till the end of the life it will be happening. Hadoop library, open source implementation of MapReduce and a distributed file system. Originally developed by Yahoo, runs on large-scale distributed applications economically. They are highly scalable to petabytes of data, reliable by replicating multiple copies of data to tolerate failures. See, simple. Few things are repeated from here. See, here map reduce are developed by Google for large-scale data processing. Here are the same thing. Implementation, open source implementation of the same thing and a distributed file system. Originally developed by Yahoo. See, what are they do? Enables users run large scale distributed. See, Google has done this for their own thing, for large scale developers for themselves. Here it enables users to run the same thing economically. Economically, what available for people in the market? Highly scalable to petabytes of data. Here you have terabytes of data running on tens and thousands of machines. Here petabytes of data. Reliable because of replicating of data. Open grid service architecture, OGSA, provides common grid service standards for public use. See, we have grid applications for public use as well. Enables again large scale distributed computing applications to share resources and data efficiently, like posting in Instagrams and stuff and etc. Social media posts. Key features include distributed execution environment, public key infrastructure for security, trust management, security policies. That's it. Global toolkit extension is just like a middleware that implements these standards. See, OGs standards reduces like security. Current version it's not so required. If you check in the textbook itself, see over here, you hardly have one or two lines for this. Then the last part of the topic. Oh my god, I thought I would complete this top module within half an hour, but it's taking almost an hour or two. But yeah, anyways, which your teacher has to take 8 hours of teaching in the classroom, we completed in around an hour or something, an hour or two, hardly.